As Jim said, I'm Tom Johnson, Manager for Transportation Planning. I've got a short little presentation, kind of go over some of the things we do. We get involved in maybe a larger variety than some of the other divisions. They tend to be a little more specialized. We catch a little bit of everything. So I brought some copies of some stuff. One of the big things we do is we produce a transportation plan for the county. Looks like this, quite a few documents. We completed this in 2011. We do this about once every 10 years, although we do update it as time goes on. And it covers policies, access control, just a number of items that are important for the county. We also have produced a bicycle transportation plan back in 1997. We are currently updating that. It served us well, but it's kind of dated now, and the Twin City area is known for its bicycle system, so that there's a lot of bike transportation, which is maybe a little surprising to a lot of people because we get a lot of winter here, but there's a lot of hardy folks that go out anyhow. So we also work with the Metropolitan Council, which is a governing body that really pulls the 7 counties' efforts together as far as some of the planning for the region. MINDOT, Minnesota Department of Transportation, that's state government. We also work with them on a lot of their planning efforts. The map that's on the wall, and there's a picture of it there, we publish that, we draw it up ourselves, and then we have it printed. When we go down the hall, I'll have copies for each of you, so you can take one with you. On the front side is the highway map, and on the back side we actually have our bike map, so we've got them combined on one map. We do other GIS, geographic information system mapping. We're getting into some live maps where you click on something and information will come up, so we're working on that. Other divisions are also doing that. We keep track of the road inventory, try to keep track of a lot of the stuff we have out there, so we do that. We're also doing complete streets now, and we have a complete streets inventory. Maybe 10 years ago, we were focused mostly on the roadway portion of our system. With complete streets, we're talking about transit. We're also talking about the bike accommodation, bike system. We're also talking about the pedestrian realm. And the pedestrian realm and the bike area had previously mostly been with the cities. And then transit was with the transit community, transit providers. We're much more involved with that, so it's a more complete system, what we plan for and what we build. We do a 5-year capital improvement program, so it's 5 years worth of capital projects, and we work with administration and Jim, and then also downtown in producing that document. And that gets approved in December every year by the county board. Federal applications, we do compete at the regional level, that's Met Council, and we compete for federal funds, and that's every other year they have a big solicitation, and we're scored against other projects, and we've been fairly successful in doing that. We help with project concepts for spot safety. Safety is a big thing for us, so we're trying to fold that into a lot of our work, particularly our maintenance work. Roadway reconfigurations is something fairly recent, where we have 4-lane undivided roads that have lower traffic. We've actually been changing some of that so that we have 2 through lanes and a center 2-way left turn lane, and maybe shoulders and or bike lanes on the roadway. If traffic is low enough, and 15,000 or below, we're average daily traffic. We're pretty comfortable with making that kind of change, and maybe up to 17,000 ADT. So we work up some of those concepts. SPAR reports. This is a report that we prepare, and it provides a number of pieces of information for the design folks. Craig will tell you about what they do shortly. So the SPAR report gets crash data, traffic data, and roadway configuration, some analysis in there, so that the design folks can have that when they start.
We're going to have to move along very quickly.
Jim, I think Steve said we have a little more time. Steve?
Yeah. 90 minutes, not 60.
Oh.
Very good.
All right. This is an example of a crash diagram. You can't see it too well, but we've got each of the crashes at an intersection shown, and that's part of our crash system, and we analyze that and look for opportunities to maybe take some corrective action and improve the safety of our roads. We also do traffic counting. We do two types of traffic counting. We have hoses we put across the road, and we count traffic over a 48-hour period, and then adjust it for to make an annual count. We also have turning movement counts where we have people out looking at turning movement, so we can analyze signal timing and how well that intersection may be working. The last piece I have is a computer program, Synchro Sim Traffic, that we're using pretty extensively. Design also has that, and I think traffic does too. And this is a program where we put in the traffic, the lanes, what the roadway looks like, and then the vehicles are simulated on the road. So we can actually change the number of vehicles for future traffic. We can add turn lanes if we want. We can do a number of things as far as analysis, and it'll give us how well the road's going to work. We can actually see the little vehicles moving. You can see if your left turn lanes are long enough and those type of things. So that's what I got today.
As we move on to Craig, we have thousands of crashes on our system every year. We have over 2 billion miles traveled on our county road system a year, so there's a lot of travel that goes on the road. We do have thousands of crashes, and we recognize that. But we recognize that it's very important to make sure that we make the roads as safe as possible. Tom's group looking at some of the core reasons why people get in crashes and get injured, property damage, or get killed. And so what we're doing is we're finding what those causes are. Craig, in the design area, is responsible for the design of the roadways so that we can make them safer for people, and our crash rates are actually going down. They're going in the right direction. We still have a need, but we're making the roads safer, and Craig's are involved in doing that.
Hi, Craig Twineman. I manage the design division. We have 34 employees in my division. We put together plans such as this and specifications for roadway and bridge improvement projects. That's our primary function. So we do preliminary and detail design, we do traffic design, we also do bridge design and bridge safety inspections, and then we do specifications and agreements. So that plan tells the contractor what to do and how to bid it. We bid our projects, and the lowest responsible bidder gets to build that set of plans. So that's about a 2.5 mile roadway project that we did a couple of years ago in Eden Prairie. How many pages? 554.
Only 500.
If you want more, we can make more.
2.5 miles.
Yeah. Half mile road? Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of stuff, because they've got to bid the project. So there's
The private
hundreds of
industry does.
pay items that they have to attach unit prices to, and then we award it to the lowest responsible contractor. And then Harlan's group will take the project and administer the construction contract and inspect. So we do.
Quick question, do you adjust prices at any time after somebody has bid, or that price that they bid is what they expect to complete the
That
project?
bit, well, it's all based on Harlan gets into this a little bit in his presentation, but it's all based on a quantity that they, and per the unit price that they submit their bid. Now, sometimes there are changes that are negotiated with Harlan's group, but they get paid so many dollars per square foot of concrete sidewalk, so many dollars per ton of bituminous asphalt.
Perhaps if you could finish, then we would ask the questions together.
Yes.
All the questions, so.
Very good.
At the end of it.
But,
When
Okay.
Sure.
yeah.
So we do in-house designs in my division, and we also manage consultant projects. We do the preliminary layouts, the traffic engineering, coordinate all the utility work. We do drainage design. We do the environmental documentation. So our projects, and I didn't bring samples of that, that can be even thicker than the plans as we move through a project and make sure it's done reasonably and responsibly per impacts to the environment. We do, as I mentioned, specifications and agreements. We coordinate with the different agencies, the different cities through which our projects pass. Estimates. So these are all important things that we need to consider in the design of our projects. Obviously, safety is job one. We adhere to the Americans with Disabilities Act. Tom mentioned complete streets. We use context-sensitive design to make sure our projects fit within the context through the corridors that they pass. Lots of public involvement. That's we don't really learn that in engineering school, but we really engage the public to make sure our projects fit the desires of the community through which they pass. I mentioned environmental impacts. We also impact private property, and we do have to purchase easements from folks that live along the corridor. Our projects do charge cities for participation, and then whatever we do, we have to pass on to the operations folks because they'll have to maintain it. This is we just had a series of public meetings on Washington Avenue here this past spring, and you can see we get a lot of people coming to our meetings. A lot of times they're riding their bikes to our meetings because there's folks concerned that our roads, really want to accommodate bicyclists. So this is a sample plan of a rain garden. You can see there's a lot of detail, and that's actually the rain garden that was constructed by the contractor. We do. Jim mentioned we own 147 bridges, so out of my group, we do the bridge safety inspections. This is a design of the Grays Bay Bridge, which is our County Road 101 over Lake Minnetonka, and this won a national awards. It was designed in-house by Bernie John, one of our bridge engineers. And I mentioned bridge safety inspections. This is a snooper. So we rent that, and this is the Hennepin Avenue Bridge, and that's our crew, our bridge folks that are actually doing a bridge safety inspection on Hennepin.
As you look at what Craig has laid out for you, I think there are a couple of very important points. And that is, does the government take people's land from them? We do highway and bridge projects, and many times when we do those projects, we are widening out the road. And when we widen out the road, that road starts to encroach into private property, land that's owned by you or me. And we just can't take it from the property owner. We have to give a fair and reasonable value for that land that we take. So we do take people's land for road and bridge projects, yes we do. But we are responsible for giving a fair and equitable price to them when we do take that land. So then after Craig has completed the design and he has moved it along so that people can act, private business can put a bid out for doing the work, private contractors, then we ask Harlan and his crew to oversee the construction.
Hello everyone. I'll move along a little quickly. Some of the stuff has already been said, has been said a couple of times. All of our major projects in Hennepin County are built by contractors. When the documentations, the plans and specifications are put together, they get advertised, contractors pick them up, and then they have about a month to review those and put together their bids and submit them, sealed bids that are then opened and read publicly and awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. Also, as Craig mentioned, all of our contracts are set up at unit cost prices. We're not paying the contractor by the hour to be out there to build projects. We're asking them to give us a bid as what it's going to cost for each cubic yard of dirt to bring onto the project, for each ton of asphalt that's going to be put onto the project, each foot of storm sewer pipe. They tell us what it's going to cost, and the price that they give us then is the price to include all the materials, equipment, and labor necessary to build it in place, just as it's shown on that plan. We have 41 people in my division. There are, besides me, there are 3 engineers that are project engineers, and then the remainder of the complement of employees is broke down to inspectors that are on the project. We have surveyors that are on the project that put all the stakes in so everything gets built in the right spot. We have a materials lab where we monitor the materials that go into the project. Project staffing can vary depending on the scope of the project. A major reconstruction project is the largest demand for resources, and for us, we'll have 2 to 5 inspectors on that project engineer, and then just a handful of people. The majority of the people out on a road construction project are furnished by the contractor, and we're not paying them. In Hennepin County, we have this position here. It's called operating technician. We have 6 positions that work for me in the summertime, and then in the wintertime, they go and work in our maintenance department and plow snow. So we have them go back and forth, but not all of them. Just a handful of employees do that. The main things that we do during construction basically is to inspect and oversee all the work that our contractor is doing. And we're sampling and testing all the materials so that we're building quality into the projects. In addition to inspecting the work that's going on, we have contract administration duties. One of the main ones there is reviewing on a daily basis all the traffic control devices, the cones and barricades. They're all set up in a specific location for a specific reason for safety of the traffic, and we drive through that every day and make sure that they're up to speed. Greg alluded to, we get permits for our project. We're monitoring those to make sure that the contractor's activities are in compliance with all the environmental permits that we have. We will have subcontracting and employment goals on our projects, and so we'll be getting reports on a monthly basis, checking and making sure the contractors are meeting the goals for the projects. And we'll also be doing field changes if necessary. If things aren't fitting or we don't have the right pay items, we'll do field changes for that. Public relations is a big part of what we do. We try to get information out to the public on all of our projects. At the beginning of the year, we'll put out a news release that will end up in the newspaper. As projects go on, we may release news releases for specific information, for project information. We use social media, Facebook and Twitter. We have those available to us. Our field people and project engineers will meet with homeowners and business people, where a lot of times we're right in people's front yards or right in front of their businesses. And so it's a lot of information, keeping them informed as to what the progress of the project is, when they can expect things done, and what it's going to look like when they're done. And lastly, we have information that we put on our website. This is just a series of slides here that shows how you access that. I won't go through all those in detail. But on our county website, you can get to a map where we'll have all those little icons, those signs. That's where each one of the project is. And if you click on those projects, you'll get to some information. This is one project that we had where we were building this portion of road. There was a bridge right here, so we had shut this section down and we put a detour around that, and that information was on there. Then down in here we were building this half at a time, carrying traffic on half the road and building the other half while we're carrying traffic. So all this information is available. People can look up on their computer before they leave home, and they can know what to expect on our project. And then there'll always be detailed information of the project. And most importantly, we have names of people, project engineer and inspectors, people right on the project that they can contact with their phone numbers for more detailed information.
When you stop and you take a look at what Harlan and his people are doing in terms of construction, it's important that Harlan, working with the contractors, are making sure that we're not harming the environment, that we are doing right by the environment. And also, since we're a heavily populated county, many of our projects, as Harlan said, go along where homes are and businesses are, right in where the people live. And communication is probably the number one important thing for us. You can see that Craig was talking about communication as we were talking about projects being developed. Harlan, very important to have communication as work goes on so people are aware. We make mistakes every day. Everybody makes mistakes. But what we try to do is get those mistakes corrected as soon as possible, and we are available to the public to answer questions that they might have. Once a project is completed, once that road or bridge is done, then it's maintained through our operations. Now, Brian Langseth, he's currently serving as our operations division manager, but he is not here today, and I've asked Greg if he could step in since he is aware of how that operation works. Greg.
Thanks, Jim. Good afternoon. I'm Greg Chog. And as Jim mentioned, I'm responsible for the traffic division. We have the two operating divisions within the transportation department, road and bridge being one and traffic the other one. The road and bridge bureau is primarily charged with the snow and ice control. We size the division somewhat around being able to plow all the roads in a timely fashion. Our major programs would be a milling and paving operation, resurfacing the roads, and then the other crack sealing and safety improvements where we'd be installing or constructing small right-hand turn lanes, bypass lanes, things of that nature. We also have routine maintenance responsible for patching the road, maintaining a smooth surface, tree trimming, sight lines, removal for signs, etc. The drainage responsibilities, cleaning ditches, and maintaining the shoulders and the bridges. We operate out of Medina primarily, and then we have 4 satellite facilities. Those are open in the wintertime. Primarily in the summertime, we all operate out of Medina, but they're scattered evenly throughout the county to provide for a more efficient snow and ice control.
Just so you get a look at it, we got Bloomington down south, and what's the next one? Whoops, can we go back just to one? And then we've got Medina where we are today. Then we've got Minnetonka. Then we've got Orono, which is down in the Lake Minnetonka area. And we've got Osseo up north, right up there. So we disperse geographically along the county for that wintertime snow plowing operation.
And the primary product that we would use would be rock salt for treating the roads for snow and ice control. When temperatures get low, we'll add a magnesium chloride, and we also add some ag products, primarily a beet type juice from the beet processing facilities. Anti-icing, that would be a system where we travel around the county with some trucks that are able to spray a solution on the road surface prior to a snow event. And that eliminates the bond from taking place between the snow and the road surface. Makes for a much easier removal of the snow. And then some pre-wetting chemicals. Again, that would be, we have the salt is put in the trucks dry. We have tanks that are on the sides of the trucks. And as we're going, the material in the side tanks is added to the salt right at the spinner at the back of the truck before it's placed on the pavement. just some of the equipment that we're responsible for. You've got the plow trucks. This is our primary backbone of the fleet, tandem axle vehicles. When we have real difficult conditions for removing some of the material, breaking the bond, motor graders could be used, front end loaders for maybe removing some of the snow, and then the liquid anti-icing distributors. That's again are the trucks that we have that will go out in front of a snowstorm and actually put down some materials to help minimize that bond. Medina is our primary truck station, and out of here we have 66 routes that are 66 highway maintenance operators that work here. We have a second shift in with 8 people on, and then a third shift with just a few people to just kind of hold things together until the primary group of people can come back on. Here's our milling and paving operation. The miller, we hire a private contractor to come in and do the milling for us. We support it with hauling the material away and the pavement preparation for the bituminous paving program coming afterwards. And then this is our paving crew. We actually do the paving of the road surface. Here's our crack sealing operation to maintain the roads, keep them sealed up to prevent water from getting into the subbase and destroying the road. We do a lot of work with other agencies. We have agreements in place with other counties. We have agreements in place with cities. We bought into one of the facilities in the city of Minneapolis that Jim was mentioning. Yeah, blue.
There you go.
So there's a lot of interworking that goes on between the different agencies. We've had tornadoes come through or storms come through. Our primary responsibility would be able to get the roads open so that others can come in and restore electrical services and things of that nature. The budget for our division, we receive about $20 million of budget for the road and bridge operations group, primarily from 2 sources. We have property taxes that are assessed on the property that you own, and then we have state aid monies that come through the state of Minnesota based on revenues that they have received. Our expenditures, snow and ice control, about $5 million a year for snow and ice. The pavement resurfacing program, about $8 million. And then the routine maintenance, $7 million. This would be a way for the public to be able to get hold of us through the internet.
As we go to Greg, we look at it, and you just saw basically how the road is maintained. Again, I said there are approximately 570 miles of county roads in Hennepin County, and what you've seen